Hey Calc kids, so as requested, I'm going to go over this practice test for your test tomorrow. It's over sections 3.5 and 3.6, which cover higher order derivatives and trig functions. I expect you to know all 6 trig derivatives, and we'll go from there. So, as we talked about in class, which third derivative will always be equal to 0? So, let's take our function is ax squared plus bx plus c. Let's say that's our function. If we look at f prime, then we have 2ax plus b. If we look at f double prime, that will give us 2a. If we look at f triple prime, that will always be 0. So the polynomial that satisfies f triple prime of x equals 0 for all x is our quadratic function. Another nice fun question. What is the millionth derivative of f of t equals e to the t? That's my fault. That will be e to the t, since the derivative of e to the x, no matter what, is e to the x. So far, so good. Now, let's just go right through each one of these problems. We want y prime, y double prime, and y triple prime, which means we have to solve y prime first. So, the derivative of 12x squared, 24x. The second derivative is 24. The third derivative is 0. And see, even if you didn't know how to answer number 1, I still made 3 able so you could see how they're related. Moving on. Let's rewrite our function as x to the 1/2 power. We have the first derivative is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. We have our second derivative equal to negative 1/4 x to the negative 3/2. And we have our third derivative, negative 3/2 times negative 1/4 is positive 3/8 x to the negative 5/2. So there's our second derivative using the power rule, third derivative using the power rule. For 5, we want to use the product rule, or we could multiply this out, whichever is easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to FOIL this whole thing out, which is x to the 5th plus x squared. X times x cubed is x to the 4th. X times 1 is x. So really this is x to the 5th plus x to the 4th plus x squared plus x. So first derivative is 5x to the 4th plus 4x cubed plus 2x plus 1. Second derivative, power rule again. So you get 20x cubed plus 12x squared plus 2. Y triple prime is 60x squared plus 24x plus 0. Done. Find, for 6, find triple prime, f triple prime of t given this function. That's not that bad. So what's the third derivative here? Well, f prime is 4t minus 1. F double prime of t is 4. F triple prime of t is 0. Done, done, done. Easy peasy. Derivative of sine. Cosine. The derivative of cosine. Negative sine. The derivative of tangent. secant squared. The derivative of cotangent, negative cosecant squared. The derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. The derivative of secant, secant tangent. These we just need to know. And if you look at it, cosine, sine, those are the main important ones. Derivative of tangent is secant squared. So tangent, you get secant. Cotangent, you get cosecant. Cos goes with cos. And in fact, every time you have something related to sine, we're going to have a negative derivative. So 13. For our purposes right now, all we know how to do is the product rule or the quotient rule. So I can write out sine squared as sine x times sine x. So that means, what's the derivative of sine? Cosine. Same thing, cosine. And we're going to do crisscross applesauce. So we have sine times cosine plus sine times cosine. So my derivative is 2 sine x cosine x. Simple. 14. We just do these by parts. What's the derivative of 9 secant x? 9 secant tangent. What's the derivative of 12 cotangent? 12 times negative cosecant, the derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant squared. So that will be negative cosecant squared x. Done. If you don't want to write this plus sign, we can just write 9 secant x tan x minus 12 cosecant squared x. 15. This is the quotient rule. So what's my high function? Is x. My whole function is sine x plus 2. So ho d high. D high is 1. D ho is, derivative of sine is cosine. So what do I have? I have ho d high. So sine x plus 2 minus high d ho x cosine x all over ho ho sine x plus 2 squared. Don't make it any harder than it is. There's my answer. Leave it exactly like that. Find the equation of a tangent line at the point specified, e to the x cosine x, where x is 0. So in order to find a point, we have to have our x and our y value. So what is e to the 0th times cosine to the 0th? Or cosine 0. E to the 0th is 1. Cosine 0 is 1. So what's 1 times 1? 1. So there's my point. What's my slope? What is f prime of x? Well, derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Derivative of cosine is negative sine. Crisscross applesauce. So I have e to the x times negative sine x plus e to the x cosine x. Now I want to know what f prime of 0 is. So that means I have negative e to the 0th sine 0 plus e to the 0th cosine 0. So this is 1, sine is 0. So 1 times 0 plus 1 times 1. So f prime of 0 is 1. So what's the equation of our line? Well, let's just write it right over here. We have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's slope-intercept form. So my point is 0, 1. So y minus 1 equals my slope, which was 1, times x minus 0. That's the equation of the tangent line for this function at 0. Last bit. Given this function, find all the values for which the tangent line is horizontal. So I want to know where f prime of x equals 0. That's what we get from horizontal. So what's our derivative? I have 0 equals 1 minus derivative of sine is cosine. Solve. So I have cosine t equals 1. Where is cosine 1 between 0 and 4 pi? So t is either 0 or 2 pi or 4 pi. You got to think back to your unit circle and think, where is the x value 1? Hopefully this is a nice short sweet review over your test. You can email me if you have any questions. We can briefly go over it before the start of class. Otherwise, good luck. You will find on your quiz tomorrow. All right, bye.